Sir, who are trans kids needing protection from?
I'm talking to you.
Oh. What do you call that instrument, sir? Or ma'am?
Feel the love tonight.
More funding for schools. More funding for schools.
Are you pansexual?
Take off the mask.
Mr. Hahn, given your sexual orientation, how well would you do in Gaza?
But there is no room for hate here. We're just here to support the parents' rights and what's happening in the classroom.
We're about kids, we're about parental rights, we're about education. And so as long as we stay true to our core, I think those who are supporters of ours, who know what to expect, came out.
Folks, here's our beautiful Jumbotron-equipped truck. It's making the rounds around Queen's Park Crescent. If you can chip in for our expenses, as I said earlier, stopclassroomgrooming.com. That's stopclassroomgrooming.com. Sign the petition, and if you're able to, make a donation. David Menzies for Rebel News here in Queen's Park, and in Toronto, as well as at least 37 other cities, concerned parents are gathering. It's part of the 1 million person march, and it's all about taking a stand against the radicalized sex education programs that are in so many schools. Critical race theory, radical transgenderism, pornography in elementary school libraries, you name it, and parents are saying enough is enough. Now, I can tell you this much, folks, compared to last year, which was the inaugural 1 million person march, this one is a mere trickle. The demonstrators and the counter demonstrators combined, I would estimate it's just about 100 people, whereas last year, both groups you would number in the thousands. And this protest kicked off more than an hour ago, so I think this is as good as it's going to get in terms of attendance. Now, we'll wade into the crowd, both the counter demonstrators and the demonstrators, and we'll see what they have to say. I have a prediction. I think the people who are part of the demonstration are going to be cool, concise, level-headed, and consent to an interview, whereas the counter demonstrators, the Antifa types, the Rainbow Mafia types, they're going to have meltdowns, and they're going to shut down our practice of journalism. It always happens that way. I guess if you have nothing to say, if you can't articulate your points, then just default to intimidation tactics and vulgarity and profanity. In any event, let's wade into the park and try to find out who's who in the zoo. I guess the obvious elephant in the room is, Kareem, what happened? It was just a mere trickle of demonstrators here at Queen's Park compared to last year.
Yeah, there's definitely been a little bit of a tricky political landscape this year. I think we've had a tough year as Canadians. There's been some competing groups, competing messages, really just a lack of everybody coming together and being on the same page. I think there were some reservations about what the messaging was going to be today, but we stick to our fundamentals. We're about kids, we're about parental rights, we're about education. And so as long as we stay true to our core, I think those who are supporters of ours, who know what to expect, came out.
We are not demonstrating here against the LGBTQ plus community. You know what? We're here to stop the division, actually. So there's no room for hate, but yet they seem to feel that there is hate, but there is no room for hate here. We're just here to support the parents' rights and what's happening in the classroom.
I even asked one of the police officers, I said, where's everybody? There are more cops and more of the anti crowd than us, hey? So I wonder what happened.
What do you make of their narrative in trying to shut down your demonstration?
Well, we've seen this kind of thing before. They have no problem infringing on our constitutional rights to protest. We come to peacefully demonstrate. We do a great job of coordinating with police, make sure we have everything in check. Parents just want to have their voices heard. But we're getting tired of this lazy language that we are hateful fascists. Anybody who stands here and looks at the parents and their kids in strollers, this is not what hateful fascists look like.
I've been fighting for this for a long time now, about the division and about making sure that, you know, it's age appropriateness, and that's what we need through everything. Myself as a government official, you know what, we need to be able to keep the state of neutrality alive and to make sure that it is fair for everybody, but there is no room for pornography in our schools. I believe the whole entire SOGI program needs to be revamped. I mean, it's up to the parents to teach sex to their children.
My son is in a Catholic school, and it's an Ukrainian Catholic school, so it isn't too bad. But still, like my wife was looking at one of his textbooks, and it says a person with vagina, and my wife said, "Well, it's called a woman." You know, and then stuff like this, eh? So, and again, we're not the hate mongers. We're not the anti-LGBT crowd. We're here to stand for our kids.
Today, any teacher can walk into a classroom and say anything that's on their mind, whether or not it falls inside of the curriculum guidelines. In fact, I took a closer look at my daughter's education, her curriculum, which is posted online, and you can find out what they teach at different age groups. They're skipping grades. They're teaching fourth grader things that don't show up until 8th grade. We've completely derailed.
Everybody should be welcome everywhere, and that's what I feel in my heart. And their sexuality has nothing to do with it.
The Minister of Education has the power to dissolve a school board, and it's happened before in Canadian history. Where was Lecce when so many school boards, especially here in Ontario, were completely off the rails in terms of radicalization?
And his critical mistake was that he didn't come and speak to parents. They shut out parents, they shut out their concerns. We're urging the new Minister of Education, Jill Dunlop, to not repeat the same mistake of past administrations. You've got angry parents and you have real issues happening in a classroom.
Yeah.
Take leadership and take control of the situation. Otherwise, parents will have to do it themselves.
Well, folks, we're at the area where the counter demonstration is. That's the members of the, well, you know what? Let me not get the initialism wrong. Let me quote what the Elementary Teachers Federation of Ontario wants you to refer to when it comes to this community. They are the LGBTTTIQQAAPP. That stands for lesbian, gay, genderqueer, bisexual, demisexual, transgender, transsexual, two-spirit, intersex, queer, questioning, asexual, allies, pansexual, and polyamorous. Did you notice one letter conspicuously missing from that heaping helping of alphagetti? H for heterosexual, you know, like about 98% of the population on planet Earth. But usually when we try to engage them, they are unhinged. That's not to say I won't try. And you can see there's a big sign behind me, and in cursive it says F off. Of course, they use the full F-bomb word. What kind of message is that sending? Why is there this need to be profane and vulgar? But then again, that's what's happening in the classrooms, isn't it? Hey, Mr. Hahn, how you doing today? Are you worried about using your cell phone or pager or walkie-talkie by any chance?
Could you get out of my way, please?
Oh, I'm not talking to you, sir.
You're in my way.
No, I'm not. Mr. Hahn? No? Mr. Hahn, given your sexual orientation, how well would you do in Gaza? Or would you stay in the closet in Gaza?
Sorry. Right.
Now, the fact that you are at this counter demonstration, does that mean you agree with sexual? No, you're getting in my way, sir. Do you agree with radicalized sex education for children?
You have a good day, sir. Thanks.
No, I don't think so.
Have a good day.
Stop bumping into me, actually.
Oh, I'm walking perfectly.
Okay, then.
Thanks very much.
Mr. Han, can you answer any of these questions? Mr. Han?
Whoa, that was very aggressive.
Mr. Han, why do you think it's proper for you with a public sector union?
Why do you take money from Russia?
Sir, I can't hear you with your face diaper on. By the way, Mr. Han, why are so many of your allies wearing face diapers? I thought COVID was over.
Sir, you're bumping right into me.
Okay, then.
Get out of my way.
I think you're supposed to be at a pro-Hamas demonstration.
Thanks very much.
So.
Transphobia has got to go. Hey, hey.
Oh, you're
Transphobia has got to go. Hey, hey.
So, Mr. Han, you never answered my question. Are you worried about using your pager today?
Got to go. Yeah.
Protect trans. Yeah. Mr. Han, why are you taking a vow of silence? You're very vocal with your anti-Semitism online. Why are you afraid to answer my question, sir?
Transphobia has got to go. Hey, hey.
Transphobia has got to go.
What's the situation with transphobia in Gaza?
Thank you.
What's the situation?
We're together.
That's fine. I'm saying have a good day. Thank you.
Transphobia has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Transphobia has got to go. Hey, hey.
So, Mr. Han, do you support
Has got to go.
radicalized sex ed education in the schools?
Go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Transphobia has got to go.
Don't bump into me, folks.
Transphobia has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Transphobia has got to go.
How bad is transphobia in Gaza right now?
Transphobia has got to go. Hey, hey.
Well, you see, folks, I think this speaks volumes. When you ask them questions, fair questions, they can't answer. Once again, I'm interviewing a sign, it would seem. And, ma'am, why are you wearing a face diaper?
Transphobia has got to go. Hey, hey.
Are you transgender?
Transphobia has got to go.
You know, it's incredible. Again, folks, the gays, lesbians, transgenders here who are in sync with the pro-Hamas people would be executed if they were to go to Gaza. I mean, it is absolutely baffling. Another thing you notice, a disproportionate number of these people are wearing disguises and face diapers. I guess they didn't get the memo that COVID-19 is over. What do you say to the Jewish members of CUPE who think that you're an anti-Semite?
Let it go. Let it go. I walk out of the wind. Don't fucking let it go.
Please tell me, what do you say to the Jewish members of CUPE who call you an anti-Semite?
In my opinion, he's a disgusting human being anyways, but that's here nor there.
There's no use hanging around here anymore, listening to this rubbish and this racket. So why don't we move north on Queen's Park and try to find somebody that has some intelligence or at least is able to articulate themselves without resorting to drowning out an interview and using profanity. Ma'am, I notice you waving a CUPE flag and you've got a transgender cape.
Feel the love tonight.
Are you a transgender by any chance? I don't want to, what's it called, misgender you? Sir or ma'am or whatever, I tried to interview your boss, Fred Hahn. He had nothing to say. Do you support the radicalized sex ed curriculum in schools? Sorry. Sir, are you asking for money or? How much support do you want? Oh. What do you call that instrument, sir? Or ma'am? Lincoln, do we have a loony or a toonie for this person? She needs some support. I think it's a she, could be a he, could be a pansexual, demisexual, bisexual, transsexual, transgender. The list goes on and on. I see you've got a spirit unicorn on your t-shirt. And folks, I'm not making that up. She had a spirit unicorn. Did I say she? Did I misgender the transgender there? I'm so sorry.
And then they're playing a song by David Bowie and Freddie Mercury, who are two of the most famous queer people in musical history.
Are you a queer person yourself, sir? Or ma'am?
I'm not going to talk to you.
Okay, then, because linking up with the pro-Hamas people, isn't that kind of like chickens for Colonel Saunders?
I'm not talking to you. Okay. This is deeply embarrassing.
Oh, why is that? Can't you articulate your points? Why are you shaking, sir? I mean you no harm. Unless you consider impolite questions harmful. You're trembling.
Low iron
You're
levels.
trembling.
I didn't have much for breakfast today.
Oh, okay. Can one of you transgenders hug this man? He's having a meltdown. I think I've triggered him. Sir, who are trans kids needing protection from?
I'm talking to you.
Oh, why is that? I just want to see if you can explain your shirt.
I know you and I'm not talking to you.
Okay. Are you transgender yourself?
Come on.
Do you identify as a child? Remember Stephen LeDrew? I think he said it's a person who's obviously confused, neither frick or frack, fish or fowl. By the way, that statement got Mr. LeDrew, the former president of the Liberal Party of Canada, fired from his gig at Bell Media. He made it on the Tucker Carlson show, and what was the subject? That Canada has freedom of speech.
Well, Two-Spirit sounds like there's someone they don't know whether they're, fish or fowl. They don't know whether they're frick or frack. So they're clearly confused. And, again, if you're confused, what better place to go than to be at school?
Folks, here's our beautiful Jumbotron-equipped truck. It's making the rounds around Queen's Park Crescent. The demonstrators, the ones that want sexual indoctrination out of schools, they love it. But oh my goodness gracious, it's the man who was trembling because I triggered him earlier. Let's see if he has a problem with that. Sir or ma'am, have you been triggered by the truck?
Take that away.
You're trembling again.
We are not here just for ourselves, but we are here.
I try to get the other side of the story, I really do, but I don't know, maybe I'm using the wrong cologne these days, or perfume as the case may be. In any event, folks, if you can chip in for our expenses, as I said earlier, stopclassroomgrooming.com, that's stopclassroomgrooming.com. Sign the petition, and if you're able to, make a donation.
Take off the mask.
Sir, what happened there?
Oh, they were stealing my banner. It says theylied.ca. Check out the website.
And what was the reason for stealing the banner, sir?
I'm not sure. No idea.
And when you say they, that's the Rainbow Mafia set, I guess.
I'm not sure, but they were all wearing masks like these other protesters here.
Right.
Counter protesters.
Yes. And this is the Love Trumps Hate people. They're stealing your sign. They're putting up a physical confrontation against you. What do you make of that?
I don't know what their problem is. We're all here to protect children.
Yeah.
They've twisted the message, and the mainstream media has promoted the twisted message. There's nobody here that hates trans people or anybody.
Yeah. But that is the way they're couching their narrative. Well, sir, I hope you're okay. I'm glad you got your sign back.
Dirty, but
okay. Thank you, sir.
Those books never get added to the libraries. There'll be like one school, and then it's just like it doesn't even happen. Like these are just lies.
Because you've never personally seen it, that means it's not happening.
I'm in the system. I was in public school. I know all of my friends, all of my circles are like public school people, and you just never hear about this stuff. And then there's like protests as if it's happening.
Okay.
But like step foot in a school and literally try and find it, and you won't. I'm sorry, I have to head to class, but this is ridiculous.
Folks, again, for the Rainbow Mafia that calls people at the protest fascists, they think nothing of using the tools of fascism, violence, intimidation, what have you. Our truck just had a brick thrown at the screen. You can see there's a section here that is non-functioning. Thank goodness our truck driver was not the recipient of that brick. And we're talking to the police right now. And let's see if they get to the bottom of this, because this is an absolute disgrace. That is fascism, and here they are chanting, "Go home, fascists." Isn't the irony both profound and perverse? Folks, have you had it up to here with the radicalized sex ed curriculum in too many schools across our great dominion? Well, if so, please go to stopclassroomgrooming.com. That's stopclassroomgrooming.com. Kindly sign the petition, and if you're able to, please make a donation so that Rebel News can continue to bring you the other side of the story.